Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Top of the morning, evening, afternoon, and good night to one and all. It is 10:19 in the morning. All right. It's
Sorry for the
always
delay,
nice when you
guys.
one up
They told me
everybody
I had to put
else.
pants on.
Thank
Thank you so much, Jorn. Jay said, "What are you gonna do if the mail comes?" And I was just gonna like sneak
Good
out, but the chairs
job.
don't roll very well on carpet. So, thank you, Matthew.
You're welcome.
So you're opposed to putting pants on them, Bree. That's the problem.
I I don't prefer to wear pants.
Mm.
It's just so much more open and fun without pants.
Got it.
Thank you, Lance. It lets my vagina breathe
Did
without
you say thank
pants.
you to Monkey? I have a topic. Well,
Thank
that's
you,
good.
monkey.
All right, so let's have a topic. I don't know if you guys saw the title,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna run with
Yep.
this one. Can anybody here? I'm open. Bree, define gender for me.
Gender is a sex that's assigned to you at birth.
Where did you get that from?
Medical stuff?
Yeah, sure about
Yeah?
that. Okay.
Yeah,
Matthew, can
because
you define? That's okay. Did
okay.
you want to say more about it?
I'll just drink my drink and let other people talk.
Okay. Matthew, define gender.
Is that fair? We looked it up, right?
It's fair we looked
I
it up.
didn't look it up. You guys cheated?
Well, don't worry. I'm going to get into that in a second. This was from Discord the other day. I just figured this is a
Mm.
really good topic. I just want
Well,
someone
I
to
thought
define
it was the
gender.
same. I thought it was the same thing as what Bree said, but then we looked it up in the discussion, and I had to change my mind because it means it can be several things. So uh, it's not just male and female; it can be anything.
Mm. And then Jorn.
Hmm. um, it is as fluid as the definition itself.
What is happening?
Wow. Wow. So then is it fair, aside from Bree's definition, to where you could say that you could be any gender you want? Is that fair?
Technically, if you go by the definition, yes.
Well, we're gonna get into the definition in a second here, because Bree's probably extremely fascinated, and I'm sure both of you are as well, because I'm gonna touch up on this. And then you said it's fluid, so you could be anything you want, Jordan, using your argument. And then Bree, your argument is that you're either male or female. That's your gender. That's your sex. Okay. All right. Now the question is, what definition are we basing that off of? Where? Because there are, if you want to go with the original, when they say that they are, I am a unicorn, I'm a they, I'm a he. Technically, the original definition, Latin, is a type or a kind. That is the original definition. Now, finding this is a little bit difficult, but I'm just going to go ahead and try to read this to you as best as possible. The Latin genius, actually, I'm going to go like this. We're going to go over here so everybody can see this together. We can read this all together. Bree has to be somewhere in the corner here. So let's get
It's
Bree
okay.
squared away. There you are.
Hi.
Latin genus is a remarkably vague word. It means a kind. There can be different genera or kinds of animals, such as birds, mammals, reptiles, and then there can be many other kinds, basically. Whenever Rome would classify the word, the entities would fall into several genera. The Greek cognate of a word, genus, whatever, now gets into the word. Now, here's the funny part. When you go over to Merriam-Webster, the gender is a subclass within a grammatical class, such as a noun, pronoun, adjective, or verb of a language that is partly arbitrary, but also based on distinguishable characteristics such as shape, social rank, manner of existence, or sex. Now, that doesn't say and sex. That says or sex. So that
Or.
means you could be any of these right here. That is the definition on Merriam-Webster. Now, if I switch over one more, this is the definition on Oxford. Uncountable or countable, the fact of being a male or female, especially when considered the reference to social and cultural differences, rather than differences in biology, members of a particular gender as a group. This goes back all the way to this, because this is a different group of animals. So if we're using this when someone says that they are a unicorn, or they are a they, or a she, or a he, well, they're not wrong.
Breeze face.
But wait, but it's not a different species if a human says it, right?
No, it's a different kind. It
It's a
doesn't
different
have to
kind
be
of human. It's a different kind of human. The different type of species, right? It's just kind. It's very vague. So that could be a different type of human being. What do we want to base it off of? The thing is that genders today, that when they do this, are they thinking about that? No.
No,
No.
the appropriate.
We're just making it. We're making it okay, going by the original definition. But the fact remains: where did we get the he and she part of a gender from? Now, when you look up gender on Wikipedia, of course it says woman, sex, male, female. But I can't find that anywhere. Where is that? And we know, don't use Wiki for a dictionary, because some dude behind a computer wrote that. Whether he is a liberal, whether he's a conservative, it's not very accurate. So now I ask you, Bree, is it okay that if someone identifies as a different gender?
No.
Why not?
Because you were given a gender at birth.
You are giving a sex at birth.
Yeah, they are the same thing. Like, they want to change it nowadays, being all woke and crazy, but gender and sex are the same. If you are born with a penis, you are a man. You are a male. If you are born with a vagina and ovaries and can menstruate, you are a woman. You are female.
Okay, have you ever looked at your birth certificate? Your birth certificate.
Oh. Yeah.
What does it say there for the sex you are? Does it say gender or sex?
Sex.
I don't know.
It says sex.
Says sex.
It doesn't say gender. Because that's a definitive thing, right? You are male or female. That's not, well, again, we're not talking about people that are identifying as trans. That's not the argument, right? The argument is whether or not someone could be a they, a binary, a bit. You know, they could, in theory, based off of what the definition is, you can, as their gender. If they say my sex is a female, that's incorrect. You are a male.
So it's more the label. They can label themselves whatever,
Sure.
and then the gender thing will apply to them.
Sure. Bree doesn't like that. That's good. I like this.
I don't like it either.
Well,
I do not agree at all.
I understand.
think it is semantics.
Look, it's not semantics. I am a man that loves definitions, and I love getting technical. And if we go by the definition, they can be different genders. I don't know what the argument is. I just read them to you. Do you want me to pull up more definitions? Because I pulled up about 9. The only thing I could say that says it's either male or female is Wikipedia. That is the only thing I could pull up. Even the one I just read from Merriam-Webster says or sex. So that could be anything in there.
The thing is, though, it's the confusion is there because LGBTQ whatever uses gender and sex.
Yes.
And they use it indiscriminately, and that time
Sure.
it's gender, that time.
Right, I'm
it's
not
sex.
saying that's okay.
I sprinkle when I tinkle.
I'm not saying that's okay. Right. That's not it. The argument is whether or not the way that they could be different genders, is that acceptable?
Theoretically, yes.
And Bree, you don't like that at all.
I do not agree at all.
Even though the definition states that's what it is.
I don't care what that definition says. If you have a penis, you are a man, you are a male.
And
that is
my
final.
friends, and what you're noticing right there, that stubbornness from Bree is the same way that they feel. You see that?
Yeah, but they are taking things and turning it into a weird argument to suit themselves. Like, if it says that your sex is M on your driver's license, no one will be like, so are you a female or a male? Nobody's going to ask that. They're going to go off your sex to assign you your gender.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you can have another gender. Your sex is male. Your gender is gonna be male. If you categorize yourself as being male, if your sex is female and you categorize yourself as being cis female, you're gonna be gender female.
Or you couldn't be a zebra human, right? Like you can't be that. That's an animal and a human being. Those are not two different types of humans. Go ahead, Bree. This is good. This is the Bree that I love. Go ahead.
This is like giving yourself a nickname. Yep. Like you're in college and no one's your friend and no one gives you a nickname and you just start calling yourself, let's say, Spade. And you're like, yo, my name is Spade. And people are like, where'd you get that name from? And he's like, I just came up with it. You know, that's the same thing for the genders. Someone else has to assign you your gender and your sex because they visually see it. Coming out with it on your own is just a whole bunch of baloney.
Okay, but we're not arguing the sex part. We're arguing the gender part, not the sex. The sex is what it is. What you have in your crotch. We discussed this the other day. I don't want to get off topic here. But if someone says, I am a female, are you? Yes. Show me your crotch. Show me your crotch.
Yeah.
I don't want to. What do you have? A penis or a vagina? I have a penis. Then you are a male. I have a vagina. Then you are a female.
But in the definitions that we went to, if they would go, I am the female gender, that would be correct.
They would be correct.
If they would say, I am the female sex, then you're wrong.
That's right.
Because they use the gender as a thing they label themselves. It's not a real thing anymore.
Yeah. No, it is a real thing, bro. It goes back a long time.
Yeah,
but they're not using it in that context, right?
Nope.
They're not. They're using it like what Bree is saying. Gender is sex. It is not sex. It can be sex. It can also be type. It could be a shape. You being a fat human is a gender. Based off the definition, that is a type of human being. That is a fat person.
Yep.
So
Bree's looking it up. Go ahead, Bree. Argue it, Mama. I love it. Argue it. Go with your dirty face. I think the best way to put this, and I said this the other day, if you walk up to somebody and say, it's ma'am, it's ma'am, and they look like a dude. Okay, check this. Watch this. So you're telling me that you're a female? Yes. You have a vagina? No. Okay, right now we're gonna go to my buddy. I got a buddy doctor, right? I'm gonna give you I'm gonna pay for your surgery right now. Right now, let's make you a female. I don't want to do that. Oh, so you're not willing to take the leap to be a female, but you just want me to call you one. No.
Nope.
You want me to call you a female? Let's go get some surgery right now. I'll pay for it. It's on the house. No, I gotta make my decision up as to what I want to be. So you're not a female.
Hey, sir.
Right. So, hey, what's up, man? What's going on, bro? Right. So, if you don't know what you are right now or what you want to do, then you're clearly not that. But that's not the argument. The argument is, if you want to be a female today, by definition, you can.
I think that the definition has been skewed because of these woke morons. I feel
No,
like
that-
it was different before all these people had the internet and were able to share their weird, freaky things
That
they do
is
in their
fair,
bedrooms.
but we are talking about the original definition.
Yeah, but the original definition is
It's
also
something they're not
translated.
using.
So
Right.
it could be a misrepresentation of the words.
Sure, and I'll agree. I'll
could
agree with
be-
that. I'll agree with that. But we're getting philosophical. Where if they want to use an argument, they could use my argument for their gender. Will they? Probably not, because they'll never watch my channel. But the
Also
argument
keep in
is.
mind.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Mike.
Also keep in mind, you have to take in account the era, because it was a word that was made in the Roman Empire or the Roman era. They didn't have trans people walking around doing surgeries and doing whatever.
Oh, no,
so
not
they
doing-
never accounted it.
Well, wait. Back. Wait, go backwards. They did have transgenders in the Roman era, number one, but they did not do surgeries. But they had them.
That was more of a limitations by the time.
It was more of a
It wasn't.
Yeah, right. We're just not gonna make you a slit. Go ahead, Bree. Go ahead. Go.
I think that it's a mental disorder.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
watch
you have
this.
something
We
wrong
also
with your
talked about
brain.
this. Okay.
That is why that you think you are not what you are.
Okay, fine.
Okay, Jay, I am a superhero. I can fly. Let me get on the roof and fly today because I feel like a superhero. You would say, Bree, you are mentally unstable. I am locking you up. So if I
Right.
say, hey, Jay, I'm a man today, I'm going to give it to somebody in the butthole. You would say, no, Bree, you are not a man. I'm going to lock you up. You're crazy. It is the same thing. I can identify as whatever I want, making gender useless then. It doesn't
Okay, see,
matter.
That argument doesn't work. That argument doesn't work. That someone has a mental instability, so therefore we should judge him. What's the difference between that man that wants to be a woman and a person that's depressed? They're both
The
mental
person that's
instabilities.
depressed can be fixed. That's
So
the
can
difference.
so can the person that has that mental instability of gender dysphoria.
Yeah, if we actually catered to it as a disability and not catered to it as, oh, be whatever you want today.
See, I kind of have to agree with that, because the
don't.
person with the depression, you're trying to cure him from the depression. The
What if
person
that person doesn't
be-
want to be cured? What about someone that's schizophrenic? What if they're happy with who they are? I could go all day with this. We could pick any disorder you want. Suicidal
But we're
tendencies.
still gonna try. We're still gonna.
What
try
happens
and
when
fix it,
someone's
right?
suicidal? That's fine. Let's go down the depression. Let's go down the mental instability. We all know that suicidal is a mental condition. That doesn't mean it's an instability. It's just at that point in time, you're suicidal, right?
Mm.
So what happens? What does the human being, general humankind, do when someone that is suicidal? What do? Do they
48
watch over you and lock you up forever
Yep.
to fix you?
No, not forever.
Forever
48
is
hours?
a
What do
little
they do?
strong, but
What do they do? 72 hours and you're going home. That's it.
Yep.
That's it. That's worldwide. That's more of a problem than the transgender thing. So you think we should what? Lock every person that's suicidal up because they have those mental instabilities right now? Why does it
Medication.
work?
yeah, but even in the going back to the people that are severely depressed, once they get off of it or they stop taking it, it's back to step one. You're not solving it. You're
Putting
kind
a
of
Band-Aid on it.
temporarily. Yes,
It's a Band-Aid.
yes. You're not solving the problem. You're subduing their original thought of "I want to leave this place," and you're kind of turning them into zombies for
Yes,
that time. That's not a fix.
that is absolutely
Yeah, but
right.
it is.
No
You're kind
feeling,
of-
no emotion.
You're kind
no
of
nothing.
pushing away the original feelings, so they feel even more numb. But they don't get that kind of depressed anymore.
Wow.
You're not
But that's
solving
why-
it. You're
But that's not
That's
a
why
fix, though.
No,
It's
but that's
not.
why you need therapy.
Okay,
Yes.
so then
I don't believe it. Well,
There are certain breeds of people who, without speaking to others about their problems, cannot figure it out on their own. Some people do
Agreed.
need someone to talk to that won't judge them, which is where therapy comes into play. It's because you could talk to somebody, they're not going to tell anybody else what you're saying, like it's private. Like personally, I don't want to do that. But other people who have no help system do need an outlet to speak through. So that way they can sort through their own problems and figure out solutions. So in some cases, I do feel like therapy is beneficial.
Yeah, but I have a small counter argument to that is if you are the person talking and presumably the therapist or the psychiatrist only listens, then you solve your own problems just by saying them out loud and figuring them out.
Yeah, but
So it's a scam then.
no,
Yeah.
but he kind of leads you into listen.
No, they
Think
don't.
about
No,
this.
they
Think
don't.
about that.
No, they don't.
There's
I've had
different
multiple
types of
people that went
therapy.
to that just give you vague answers. You got to figure it out. You're just saying your problems out loud.
Maybe
That's the only-
there's a differentiation between a therapist and a psychologist, because if you have mental instabilities, they usually don't just let you talk to them. They usually give you some type of therapy, like CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It teaches you if X happens, Y is what you should do. So if you get angry, you don't start punching things. You take a deep breath, you smoke a cigarette, you drink a beer. No, he probably won't recommend those things, but other ways to change what you're doing.
Let's hope
Or if
not.
you're super
Just take a
sad,
shot.
don't get behind the wheel. Like they teach you what to do between X and Y, so that way something bad doesn't occur.
So would you then advise that kind of treatment to these people, or you want to give them medicine?
But we can agree that every different mental instability requires different levels of treatment.
Yeah.
But
Whether it
Going
is
into the
cancer,
previous-
whether it is AIDS, whether it is depression, whether every single medical condition requires a different set of rules or guidelines to go by to fix that individual.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we go based off that, why are we so quick to fire off the transgenders that are genuinely looking? And I'm not talking about transgenders. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about someone that looks at themselves in the mirror and says, I am a female. Why can we as human beings not accept that that person is a female? Why is that such a hard thing for us to do?
because it's one of the
Personally,
basic
I have
fruit-
no.
it's
I
one
have
of the basic.
no.
Go,
But
Joe.
But you're willing to accept the kid that's born with a fucking lobster hand? It is a basic thing that people all have 5 fingers. So we're willing to accept one thing that is a disability for one because it's a physical disability. But when that person has a physical disability that is also a mental disability, then it's unacceptable. You guys are fucking double standing like Pickle Lane.
I think for most people, it's because it's a basic understanding of humans. It's always been that you have a vagina, you can bleed, you can do this. You're female.
We're not talking about a vagina. We're not talking about a dick. You guys keep going with this. We're talking about somebody that looks in the mirror and they see something that is not there.
Okay,
Then they are mentally unstable.
And why is that
Society-
unacceptable?
It's unacceptable because they refuse to get treatment for their mental illness. They want to be pandered to, not helped.
Yeah, but then you're talking about transgenders. That's the problem. You
If
have to
someone
make the difference.
thinks, if someone is schizophrenic and paranoid that there's someone outside trying to hurt them, you wouldn't encourage them to stand their ground inside the house because those bad guys outside are going
Yes,
to get
people
them. You
would.
wouldn't feed into it.
Society would say be where you feel safe. Therapists would say be where you feel safe. Yes, they would. 100%.
But not encourage the delusion.
No. They wouldn't say, yeah, you're gonna die if you go outside.
Yes,
I
exactly
agree with
what
that.
we're
Right. No, I agree with that. I'm just saying that if we are, I think it's a valid point. If we look at someone that has a lobster claw and we're like, oh, we feel bad for that baby. Now, I don't. I said that baby should have never been fucking born, right? Like that should have never even existed. That's it. That is not an average person. But I don't think you guys are seeing it from my point. Because somebody has a mental instability, we shall not. First off, who are we to judge the next person? Let's just go there. Nobody. We're nobody. We're just human beings. Who are we to say that something is unacceptable or not?
No, we're not.
Nope.
That's kind of societal, right?
Wow.
The majority says this is not acceptable, then
but-
in the most cases, that's gonna be the rule. That's gonna be as accepted as the norm.
See, but society is just made up by people. So if a multitude of people change their mind on something, then we can change society as a whole. It's easy, really.
I just don't know why we're so willing to accept any other mental instability. But when it comes to it, and again, not a transgender, not Dylan Mulvaney. We're not talking about that. We're talking about somebody like Blair White. We're talking about somebody that has embraced whatever they see and they own that motherfucker. Like they own it.
I think
it doesn't make sense because you don't accept it, but you accept Blair White as a female, welling damn well know that she has a dick, but you call her a she. So you make an exception for that because of the physical overlay that is jostling their mind about. But because on the outside they look okay. And that's where suicide comes in. Someone looks okay, but in reality, they're not. But we're more quick to judge that person than we are that one. Why? Why? Because you don't like it? Wow. Selfish? Just a little? Now, I'm not talking about you calling them a he or a she. Again, we're not talking about that. We're talking about for that person individually. Nothing.
No, I still believe what I believe. No
See,
one is going to
Bria's-
change my mind. If you have a penis, you are a man. If you have a vagina, you are a female.
So
That is
Blair
it.
White is a
That
man.
final.
So Blair White is a man?
Blair White is a dude. Would he go?
Then how come you don't call him bro?
Because it looks like a chick. So you would say she when you see them. If they go to the doctor for their prostate exam, they're not going to be like, ma'am, can I finger your butthole? Like, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, sir, bend over and cough. Like, that, it's so ridiculous that everything is pandering to these idiots. These people are mentally broken, and we are encouraging them for fun.
That's not fair.
Like, it's wrong.
That's not fair.
Well,
I don't
if we
think
go
that's
back
fair.
to the suicide thing, we're not encouraging them to do it, but we are encouraging the LGBTQ woke stuff to do it.
You are encouraging people to do suicide because you put it in movies more now than you ever have.
Yeah, but
The more that you show it, the more that you make it acceptable. Just like transgenders, the more that are on the internet, the more that we make it acceptable. That's why furries exist. And that's why people that identify as fucking shrubs exist, because we accept the other one and they don't like that we accept it. See, I'm playing chess, they're playing checkers. You don't want me to accept that you're a tree? You're a fucking tree. What gene family tree are you? A palm tree. Okay, I'll call you a palm tree. And then they have to come up with something else because as we accept it more as a society, you're not special anymore, right? You're just somebody that thinks that you're something else. And that's fine. You can identify as a laptop today. That is what you are. And that's fine. And I think that I'm not picking that up right now, bro. You can look at it like I think, Bree, you have to take a step back and you keep using mental instability. That is not, if I could give you any words of advice, that is the worst reason to judge somebody for something that you cannot control.
Okay. A he/she is in a coma. Ambulance pulls up.
Wait, a he/she? Whoa.
Like a he or a she. Like whatever they identify with.
Yeah.
They're in a coma on the side of the road.
Yeah.
They see that they have testicles. So like this man is in a coma.
Yep.
And then they bring him to the hospital. He's in his fancy little coma. He wakes up, goes, "No, I'm a she." They'll be like, "He's we were out for a little too long." You know, like there would be no question of it if there was no mental thing.
Again.
So if we take mental out, it's just
but that's
physical.
sex.
That's not gender.
Sex and gender are the same thing.
They're not the same thing. Where are you? I don't know where you're getting that from.
They are though.
No,
I
but that's
am a
that's
female
what happened.
sex. I am a female gender. Matthew
That's
is a
what
male
happened when we had
sex.
a discussion earlier, Bree, or a couple of days ago. We went like, "Oh yes, this and this," and then Jay was like, "Oh, but let's look up the real definition of gender."
Isn't that
And
all you
that's
care
why
about? Is the
changed our mind.
original? If we have to
No.
base, if we have to base something, knowledge is power. And if we know what the original word means, that can speak volumes because you said it yourself, Bree. They have changed the definition. You said that in this video. They have changed that to fit their narrative. I don't want to change it. Let's go back to the original. And the original is a kind, a type. And if that is the argument, then you could be a fucking gender female. You cannot, however, change your sex. Well, you can. You just have to get surgery. And some people will say you can't. You were born this way. If you remove your prostate and your testicles, what else inside of you makes you a man?
But then
Your
to avoid all
testosterone,
of-
your body composition,
You don't
your
create
muscles,
testosterone.
your
You can
bones,
change that.
all of that.
You can
No,
change
but-
that, Bree. You could change that. And
How are you
once
going
you
to
remove
how are you
the-
going to change your bone density? How are you going to change your ability to create muscle? How are you going to change the shape of your body?
Those two right there are easily done. That's estrogen or testosterone. Once you remove
So
that
you're
prostate,
doing something to your body to change it from what it is.
but you just said you want to fix the people, Bree. You said
Yeah,
give them
fix their
medicine.
mental problem, not chop off their penis.
That
But
is
then-
fixing their
That's
problem,
not going to
though.
fix it. That's just saying, oh, what you believe in your brain is right. Let me chop off your testicles so that way you could be the way that you think that you are. No,
Why
you
not?
shock them until that they think that they are a man. This is what your body is. This is what you are. You can't
Jordan,
just
what's
go
your
and
opinion
change
on this?
that.
You're not saying much. What's your opinion, Jordan?
Going off the definition, we dig long enough. Gender and sex is completely different. Unfortunately, I was wrong.
No, what
I
do you
needed
think
them.
about Bree with the situation with the testicles?
Oh,
With the-
Bree. I was originally from the same mindset. Now I'm going, it's not in my personal life. So I have nobody that has anything to deal with that. So I'm going, if you want to change it, as where I draw the line, if it makes the person happy, sure. But I'm not spending taxpayers' money on it. You got to pay for it. But if that makes them a happy human being, sure. I don't. Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, we're not saying whether or not you have to agree to call them a male or female. That is not the argument here. The argument is for that individual. Should we judge and tell that person, again, not a transgender? We're not talking about that. We're talking about someone that is genuinely trying. Let's use Naomi. Let's use that person.
Yeah.
Not trying
If
to
they have
become
the money.
famous. You are fucked up in your head, and you think that that is what you need to do. And you know what?
If that turns them into a stable human being and they're happy the way they are, I mean, we do it with other stuff. This
More
is
power.
the most extreme we've gone ever as humankind. But we've done it with other stuff. We've done cosmetic surgeries. We've done people go out and learn a new language, travel the world to try to fix their mental being. We've done all this stuff before. It's the first time in history we've gone this extreme when it comes to surgeries to fix a mental thing. That is true. But we've done it before.
Matthew?
Where I draw the line is kids. That's the only thing.
Oh, we're not. Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
talking about that. Yeah, that.
Yeah,
I'm not even.
I'm not touching that.
I watched a video this morning of 3 things raising 2 kids that were adopted. So it's 3 parents, not 2, 3. So you had a chick that was a legitimate chick, a dude that wants to be a chick, and then a chick that wants to be a dude. They have 2 kids. One is a cis male at 4, and the other one, they don't know the gender or the sex yet.
See, but that's the bull crap about the entire situation.
Right, but we're not.
Because-
That's not the argument right now, though. That's what I'm saying. That's a totally different thing.
Yeah. Okay. But for starters, we should be to avoid confusion. We should be starting to talk about biology instead of sex or instead of gender and chromosomes.
Well,
Then
sex.
Yes, I think we need to start. I think we need to get away from the gender word because it's too vague. Number one, it is too vague, right? Yes, fine. You're any gender you want. What's your sex? What is your
biology.
sex?
Yeah.
You cannot say you're a unicorn. You're either a male or you're a female. That is it. Or you're an well.
Those are such a minority. They do not.
It's not a minority. You got to
Not
stop
a
saying
thousand.
that. It's 1 in 1,000. It's not. That's not a minority.
I consider it a minority.
I consider black people a minority, and they're 1 in 5. So I guess you're accurate.
Not where we live.
No.
Not where
The
Thor
thing is,
lives.
though, that those 1 in 1,000, usually when they're born, it's decided for them, and they're one.
Yes. Usually. Sure.
If that person later grows up and says, "Yeah, they chose wrong. I want to change,"
So,
all good.
listen, when you go to Europe, right? Not even Europe. When you go to Asia, and they say this proudly, Thailand, right? They call themselves ladyboys. They say it proudly. Like you'll walk up to on the street and be like, "Are you a female?" No, I'm a ladyboy. They say it proudly, and nobody looks down on them. Right? They look fine as shit, by the way. I'm just putting it out there. I fucked the shit out of a ladyboy. Just putting out my wife's on the pen. I'll still bang one with her watching. Let's get kinky. You can play with his balls. But so when you look at it, right? These ladyboys, and there are a lot of them that want to look like a lady, but they have jams, bro. Like solid jams. What are we to call them? I mean, if they can call themselves lady boys, why can't we call men trying to look like women lady boys?
Yeah, but the thing is, those lady boys, they're proud of what they are, and they accept what they are. They also don't want you to call them a wife or a woman.
Using,
but they don't want to be called women.
They're
They
not
don't want to
transgenders. They're transgenders. You understand?
But a lady boy doesn't want to change.
Oh, but
That's the difference.
Oh, but they do. They have a dick and they're dressing like a woman. What the fuck do you mean they don't want to change?
They
you can't be both, bro.
Like a female,
Well,
but they
just
want
want to
to
be a cross-dresser.
No, we can't be
transvestite?
both.
They usually have fake tits as well, and they're
Right.
completely transformed. There's
So
just
the only thing that you don't, first off, you don't have the money to do is to change that stash into a gash. Oh, you 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 don't have the money to change that from a prick to a clit. But either way,
That should be a T-shirt.
prick,
Yes.
I like it. It doesn't rhyme. I'll come up with something.
The other one.
Your stash to a gash. But if they do though, because they want to do the tits, they're pretty as shit. I mean, they are fine.
Yeah,
So,
but they
and then
don't want to cut off their nuts.
I don't think it's a matter
some
of
of
they
them.
don't want to. If we go back to the original thing we discussed, let me put money on the table. Let's figure it out. Let's see. Dude, if I become a billionaire, I'm doing this shit. Like, I'm flying to Thailand. That's where I'm going to start this shit at. Or the transgender capital of the world. Let's play a game.
And you
But
said
then is
they
it
don't
still a
want
lady
to.
boy?
I don't think so, Matthew. It comes down to money, and then the technology isn't ready yet. You've seen it. They have to keep. It's an open wound. They have to. It's easier because they also do that to make money. The lady boys. It's the prostitutes. That's why they do it.
Again,
Right, to make money.
lady boys are proud of what they are. They don't want to go full transition. Most of them. Are you gonna find transgenders or that ones that will want to change completely? Yes, but then they're no longer lady boys.
Yeah,
A
but you
lady
said
boy, the
proud.
name itself, they are proud of what they
LBGQT is
are.
proud of what they are.
That doesn't
You
matter.
use
We're
that
talking
word.
about a lady boy wants to change it. No, most lady boys want to stay. They want to have tits. They want to look like a girl, but they don't want to cut off their junk.
And you don't think that if you put the money in front of them, they would do it? Get the fuck out of here,
It's way more
bro.
expensive than just getting.
Then why
tits.
get the tits then?
That's a cultural thing. They're a lady boy, so they're
cultural
supposed to have the junk in the trunk. Oh, no, that's the backside, right? Junk in the trunk. That's the
Yeah,
wrong.
that's an ass, bro.
That's the wrong end. Okay, you know what I mean.
I don't agree. Go ahead, Brie. What do you got? You feel pretty strong about this. Still believe that sex and gender is the same thing.
Yes.
What if someone close to you will be extremely unhappy, and not that you have to accept them or change the way you address them, but wouldn't you want that person, even though you really do not agree, which I can respect, if that helps them to stay sane in this world and be somewhat happy, would you rather them to be miserable in the form they are now, or would you want them to change and then be slightly happier?
I would want them to not be my friend.
What if it was me?
I,
What if it was
I, I,
me?
you don't.
I know, but what if it was me?
What if it was me? What if I decided that I wanted a penis
I've already
and then
been
I wanted
asked
to cut
that
off my
question,
breath?
and I've already answered that question.
You would leave me. You didn't
No, I
sign up
wouldn't.
for this.
No, I wouldn't.
No, Jay already
No, I
answered that.
That's
I would-
crazy talk.
I
mean,
love
if you
you
had a
for
vagina,
who
I
you
would've
are
played with it.
inside, not your brain. I love you for who you are. And if you want to be a male, I don't know how we're gonna have sex. I don't know how we're gonna do any of this. But we will have a sit down. This is not gonna be a 3-minute conversation. We will make sure we go through every fucking route possible to make you think back the way you were. But if you truly wanted to be a male, you could even call me a faggot. I don't care. I'll stay with you. You'd take that to my grave.
Wait, but what you just said, we will exploit every other avenue to get you back to what you were.
What
So
you
you're
were.
not
I didn't
helping.
say normal. I chose my words correctly.
But you're not helping. You're not accepting.
I am accepting. I'm accepting whatever you want to do with your body. I don't know if there's a better thing for me to do. I'm not even leaving you. I am willing to accept anything that you want to do.
I agree. But you said we're going to explore every other avenue first.
I don't think I chose those words, but if you're saying I said them, then I said them. We're going to get you back to what you were, and if we can't, then I will accept it. That is the ultimate goal. If you want to be that, then you go be that. Would I call you a dude? That might be difficult. If you wanted to start looking, I don't know, but I could promise you I would not leave you. You might have to accept
Brian.
that I'm going to call you Bree. Well, I don't ever say she unless I'm talking about you to somebody else. But Bree, you know me and my word. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. I would not leave you. This is not going to happen overnight. This is going to take a while for me to accept that. And the amount of popularity I'm going to gain on the internet will go through the roof. So by all means, if you want to have a dick, then go for it. I support you. We won't even explore avenues. Let's go viral.
Nice.
Let's go viral. This is going to be a roller coaster. Yes, I would. And I say that, and I mean it. I don't have time to look for a new person, woman, man.
You dying?
Well, we're all dying. No, I just don't. You're it. You're the last one. I just think you need to get past that sex and gender thing because they are two different things.
I think that the issue is that before, when people would ask your gender, you would say your sex. It wasn't a question.
100% agree. 100% agree.
So now that the word gender is able to be used in a different way, people are abusing that power.
Agree. Not disagreeing with that.
Yeah, like on Peloton. When you create an account, you can choose male, female, or non-binary, or prefer not to answer.
when you fill out an application, I don't know about now, but if you filled out an application in the 90s or even to join the military, there was a little box up there. I had 2 check boxes. It said sex, and you could either pick male or female. There's no option of gender. Gender has been added. I will agree. I'm just saying that they're using it in the correct term, and conservatives don't like that because they either haven't looked it up. I would love to go against Ben Shapiro and just say, can you tell me the original definition of gender? And then they're going to give me like the Oxford. No, I want the original definition. Because the reason why all of them are good, Charlie Kirk, and I'm not saying that they're not good, but the reason why they're good is they study certain areas and they do it hardcore. That's why they can fire back. But when you give them something that that they know they have not checked out, like that word, they would just give me the original definition. And they wouldn't put that on their Facebook or their YouTube because they look like fucking idiots because they don't know. But the original definition, Latin, is a kind of human being. You can argue it as much as you want. It is what it is.
Even the cis thing is correct.
Nope.
Yes, it is.
Nope.
Yes, it is.
No. Why should I be called cis? I'm a male. I'm not a cis male.
That's a preference.
I don't. No. I don't need the cis junk in front of male. That's something.
Grammatically, it's correct. By definition, it is correct. I know that's a personal thing. You don't like to be called that way. But if you're going by definition, that's the correct.
What does cis stand for? What does cis stand for?
It's also Latin.
That means born as.
No.
Same gender as you are born with.
No, you assort with this on this side of, so that you're male originally on this side of, or you sort with this, and that's Latin. That is correct. That's the correct use of it. I know I wouldn't like to be called that, but it's correct. You can't fault them if you're going off the definition. It's correct use of the word. I know you don't like it. Just like Spade doesn't like the word change, but it is still the correct use of the word.
If we're forced to accept their labels the way they want it, then why should we be forced to use the label they want for us?
No, you don't have to accept it. You just express your dislike of it. But
you don't accept
it. If you're
it's just not a matter of whether it's right or wrong. And whether or not you accept something is fine. You can not, like Brie doesn't accept sex and gender. You don't accept it, but it's right or it's wrong. And if cis male is a correct terminology, then you can either accept it or don't. But that's what it is. I just learned that new. I didn't know that was the meaning is a sort of.
So screwed up. Well, that's also.
This is way before we existed. This is coming from Latin, so it isn't infected by the mindset we have today.
Hold on.
Way before all of this.
Go ahead, Brie.
Cis was coined in the mid-1990s by a German sexologist. He used the Latin preposition cis, meaning on this side of, as a contrast to a transsexual being trans, which means on the other side of.
Makes sense.
So he came up with cis because people were calling themselves trans.
No. He didn't come up with it. He's just he's countering the argument. If you're saying that you're a trans woman, then what would a male be? A male would be a cis male that is normal. So
because transsexual became a thing, he had to come up with a word.
No, transsexuals have been around. Let's be clear. There's a big difference. Well, not really, but you had transvestites, you had transams, great cars. You had
transportation.
Transportation. Sure.
Transformers.
Trans existed before men and women. Let's just be clear. So I'm also with Matthew. Don't call me a cis male. I'm just a male, dude. I'm just a normal male that eats pussy.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. If you have to call me that, sure. Sure. If you want a label, go for it. Make you feel better now? Good. And I'm going to call you a dude because you look like a dude. We clear?
It's also the same thing, right? They took a definition that originally means this, and now they've changed it into born same sex as you, but because that's the modern definition.
They're not changing it.
They're using it.
They're not changing it.
The definition is still correct. They are now using it because it makes them sound more.
It's like ad hominem. It's the same
are.
argument with ad hominem,
Yes.
right? You could say, stop making fun of me, make fun of what I'm talking about, right? Does it make sense? Yes, of course. Okay, I will fix it. So, and again, you're not going to have a problem with transgenders call me ma'am or she to someone like Blair White, because you're not going to make that mistake, right? You're going to have the problem with the person. Well, you know the type of person with the purple and green and orange hair with the big hoop earrings, and you've got a dick. That's what you want, right? You're not going to have the problem with not even an attractive trans. I just don't agree with the word trans in general. I think the only time you could use that is while you are transitioning. You cannot transition for 30 fucking years. Okay? There is a time limit, and if you go past the year, you are still what you are. You're just en route to being a woman. You're not, stop calling yourself that. You know we got problems when they start putting that on applications. This shit is out of control now.
Or
But
X.
not all of them. Not all of them. I mean, you remember when I applied for a certain card, wasn't multiple options. It was just the two. And that's for getting into your country. So it's not for every form.
Jordan, they're doing it in schools. My kid came home with a piece of paper to fill out, and it was male, female, X, and some other thing to fill out. I mean,
oh yeah, I'll reiterate what I was trying to say, Matthew. This is me going to a place that, from what we can see, is more woke than Europe. From now, the LGBTQ movement is way more active in the US than in Europe. So you would think if I am applying to move there, they would have that on that form. Nope. If you want to immigrate to that country, it still has the two. So it's not progressive to all levels yet. It's
but
just
again, what
very
does it
locally.
say? Does it say gender or does it say sex on the application?
Gender, and it's male and female. I can pull it up. I still have the screenshot of it.
So that could be wrong. Oh, no.
Yes.
Gender can be sex. It can be sex. It's just not defined solely as sex. It can be. It is included. Gender is a broad. It's a very broad term. It's very vague. Just like the original definition saying kind. It's a very vague thing.
Yeah, but they didn't even give the option, not specified or anything. 2 options. That's it. You don't pick one or the two, I guess you're not getting in.
So what does that third person do there, that intersex?
I guess he's not playing the lottery. He's got to stay in the country
He's
he
going
is
to
in.
have to pick one. You're going to have to pick one.
If it doesn't work out, pick a different one next time.
If you put it in a fraudulent application, no, I don't think you understand. I am both. I tried to check both boxes, but it only let me check one. So I figured if the first one didn't work, you didn't agree with it. So I just did it a second time as somebody else.
Originally, I applied on a Sunday, and I was feeling more like a dude. But then I applied again on a Tuesday, and I was like, "Yep, that's how you get around it."
Nice.
Well, that's fluid, right?
Not on the intersex. No, it's not fluid. That's just how you're built.
Yeah, but what John was saying, I'm feeling more this. I'm feeling that could be fluid. That's not. But do those do they feel both? Or
Yeah, they
I
feel
get the
both.
idea of the things I've read or
They do.
seen about it. They usually are only one, or feel like only one, not
Mm,
both of them.
I'll send you a video on YouTube, a very good one, kind of
Mm.
autobiography on a famous author that was intersex, and one day felt like a woman, another day felt like a dude. Didn't have a
You
vagina
can
though.
also you can also flip this, right? Because we have been talking about this for a long time now. I kind of feel the opposite thing now. I'm extremely grateful. I have it easy. I know every single day of my existence what I am. I got it fairly easy.
I would be interested to see the numbers of all of those trans people. Which ones are really like you, the ones we're talking about, right? They really have
Mhm.
something going wrong in their head. They really feel like they're in the wrong body. They're not trans trending. They're not doing it for attention. They're not doing it for clout,
Oh,
for
like
anything else.
real true. I don't
The
even know
real
how you would
one.
get those numbers. I don't even know how you would get
Not
them.
only that, how do you
I-
measure that?
That's not
How do
even
you
going to be
figure out?
50%. It's not even going to be 20%.
I don't even know how you
Yeah,
would
but
get that
how would
number.
you measure that?
You
How would
can't.
you figure out this guy is real, this is faking it?
You can't
You
because it's in
can't.
their head.
Yeah.
Well, unless you wait a number of years and they openly admit that they regret what they did by cutting off their junk, and by changing, and by then you can go like, yeah, this one not a real one. Or if they go back. But those seem to be kind of omitted in social media. They're kind of.
I don't because they don't want them. But then you have Blair White, right? For,
Talking about the ones that regret it and want to go back, want to transition back, and have a story to tell. Those are usually not really
There's
prevalent.
more and more of those coming out, but they're all on the far right channels, which is not helping our cause because it makes it
Nope.
look like we're paying them money to talk about it.
Yeah,
They're always
they're
on the
kind of demonized.
furthest
Yeah.
right channels.
Yeah.
Right? You never see them on TV, like on normal, like NBC News or something,
Nope.
talking about it. They're always on like Louder with Crowder or someone else who's really far right. Like it seems fake almost, even though we want to believe that it's legit and they really do regret it. They're speaking out about it in a way that earns them money. So are they really feeling this way, or
sure,
are they just
sure.
trying to
Motivated
get
by money.
attention?
Sure, sure, sure.
But
It's really hard.
but then the
You know,
argument goes for kids, yes, 100% agree. Protect those. But if it's an adult, we don't go out and slapping alcohol or drugs out of people's hands. That's the freedom. And if
or
people want to act
burgers.
stupid with that freedom that they get handed and they want to go to this extreme, well, then you experience everything. You made the
And
wrong choice. You rebuilt yourself to something else, and now you regret it, then you have to live with that regret as well. That's one of the things of being an adult in this world.
if you want to give an 11-year-old or an 8-year-old puberty blockers, that should be labeled child
Yeah,
abuse.
but
Pure and
okay, but
simple.
we already said that we're putting kids in the different bracket. We're not even discussing. We're talking about an adult because kids, I do not agree. No matter what the
I
level
agree.
is, kids
I
use
agree.
yeah.
I agree. I agree 100%.
But then, the problem is with the kids, they usually don't come up with that stuff on their own. The only
Of
ones
course.
who would come up with that stuff on their own are the ones
Right,
who
which is
really
why we're
are
all
like
going
that.
to agree that that's not even, we don't even need to talk about that because we all agree on it. We're just,
No,
that's something
not
we
even on
agree
the
about.
table.
We need to talk about things that we don't agree with, like agree with gender and sex.
I'm sorry.
No, don't say sorry. You're being silly and dumb because you know the definitions. It's just you're just deliberately not accepting them, even though they are the truest way you could possibly look at them.
Absolutely.
So I got a question. You are you
I am aware
Are
of
you-
the definition. I do not believe that definition is used in that way today.
Agree. I'm not saying it
So
is.
I
Agree.
don't believe in the original definition anymore because we're not going by that.
Oh, okay. Well, I agreed with everything you said until that last part. But yes, and that's why I said that in the beginning, Bray. That's what I'm trying to explain to you is if they want to use an argument, they could use the argument that I'm posing. They cannot use the argument that they're using now because it doesn't make sense.
They're just stupid people.
I got another question, and this is one for Bree. Are you pro-choice or pro-life? It's going back to the trans, I promise.
Pro-choice.
Okay. So you said you define it as a mental illness, so I kind of agree to a certain extent with that definition. Would you then be opposed to limiting the surgeries, like ban them as a whole, because you believe in treatment in the sense of medication or even therapy to get them back on track? So would you ban the surgeries, the sex surgeries as a whole?
Yeah, why not?
But then oh, okay. I did not expect that.
Okay, I got you. I got you. So you're saying that they should accept who they are, right? On the outside.
Yeah.
Why did you get fake tits?
Because my husband wanted them.
And you love them, don't you?
I love my titties, as you can tell.
So you now have a double standard.
No, because I am enhancing womanly features that I already had.
And in their mind, they believe that they're a woman, so they're enhancing their looks to more look like a woman.
But I already had tits. I just expanded them. They're taking pecs and turning them into tits. That's different.
Yeah, but going back to the pro-choice and the other thing,
Technically,
now you're
right.
eliminating choice. You're eliminating the choice. If you ban the surgeries, you're eliminating someone's freedom to choose for themselves.
Yeah. They're not
Wait,
mentally stable enough to choose.
You
If they
can't
think
pick-
that they could choose their sex, they're not mentally
do this,
stable enough
Brady.
to consent to
You're
surgery.
picking and choosing a side. You can't do this. If you go with one, you have to go with both.
Yeah.
Or at least have them do more extensive therapy and have them completely live like the sex they want to be for 5 years.
The gender they want to be.
Sorry,
the sex.
gender they want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, sex. That's
The
not
sex
possible.
you got to change, bro. Like that's.
But but Matthew, in that scenario, I kind of agree with that. But if they're already been living, let's say adulthood, 18 years old, and they've been living the largest part of their lives in that mindset, I am completely in the wrong body. Now you want to torture them more and let them be in this kind of weird in-between state for 5 years to prove.
The counter starts from when you're legally an adult, when you can make your own decisions.
I agree.
and be accountable for them.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
trying
want to
to
force them
argue
to play
your
dress
tip.
up for 5 years?
I'm trying to argue your tit argument, Breen. It's difficult because you are enhancing something that you have. I would argue instead that they're enhancing their body to look more like what they see, not what they want to enhance. So you have a valid argument, and it's good. And I don't have a counter to that. It's like me extending my dick to be fatter or longer. It's something that I already have. It's not something that I have to create. Well, it's a valid argument. It's a technicality, but yes, you are right. You're picking and choosing your body, your choice, because if it's your body, your choice, and you get an abortion, it's your body, your choice. You could get a fix to be a different gender.
Well,
But
if you
wanted to
don't
ban the
want to have a
surgeries.
child, what life is that child going to have?
I agree.
Full of hate.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I think that's a totally different field, but
Or if it's retarded, just put it out of its misery. You know, like you don't want to bring that into the world. You have the choice.
Agree. Most people
could
don't.
argue
Though.
that that's the less selfish thing to do.
When you saw that video of that chick, right? Of that little girl where her head looked like it was ran over by a tractor trailer. And someone decided at some point, some doctor saw that in the womb and was like, this is okay. Really? You didn't see the video, Bree? Did you see it? Where?
Oof.
Okay, no
Yeah,
one saw that.
Her head is caved.
Yeah,
Yeah, no one saw.
Yeah.
No. I mean, like, no doctor saw that and was like, okay,
No.
here, listen. I know we are against abortion, but I know a guy. Like nobody said nothing. That child is gonna be on a fucking breath machine the rest of their life. Like you, that's okay,
Man, I
really?
were you kicked in the stomach at some point?
Right? Or
like
did you get ran over by a steamroller at their second trimester? What the fuck? I'd be the worst doctor. I tell you, coming in for a checkup, you walk out with a jar of your baby. Here's your baby, by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
Isn't
It's
that
not
the
viable.
problem with the oath? Isn't that the problem with the oath that they take? It doesn't specify the quality of life. It just says life in general.
That's why they
And
can't
that's
assist.
the problem.
That's
That's
yucky,
why they
bro.
can't assist with the suicide either. They're not allowed to take a life, no matter what.
Well, permanent state.
And then life is vague, right? Nobody's talking about the quality of said life. It's just life. If it has a pulse, then it's alive.
Yeah, but Tony, that's not my argument. No. I'm saying, like, no doctor said nothing. Like, to other doctors, we need to get this out. Forget what the parents want. I understand you want to do that because it's your child. I get it. But let's put it all in writing right now that the government is not going to help you. Like, I'm just telling you, because we know this is going to cost us. This is a $30 million baby. But I'm sorry, we can't help you. That's what I'm saying. Like, someone needs to put their fucking foot down.
But then in that case, which one would you say is the more egoistic thing to do? Like, not wanting to take care of that, or being like, that's not viable.
You put
that's
that baby
not
up for
be...
adoption, you think anybody's going to grab it up?
Nope. Yeah,
Okay.
probably somebody...
Now get the
that
fuck
wants
out of
to
here.
die.
No, nobody. No, because when you pick it up, they're going to give you a receipt. This is what you need to spend a year.
Non-returnable.
Yep. Yeah, non-refundable.
Is it horrible to say that at that point, even though you brought it into this world, you're better off taking it apart for parts and maybe save some other...
Oh, there's nothing of that thing that is usable.
No.
Not even an organ or something?
No. Everything on that has got to be artificially kept alive.
Like if a cow gets mad cow disease, we don't take its organ out and give it to another cow.
Right. The whole thing is just trash.
It's infected. Yeah, it's infected as well.
You don't think that that's infected?
Yeah, but by bad genes. But
And apparently that's a syndrome. Like, that's a thing that people have lived with. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing right now, bro? Like, God is putting a challenge in front of you, and you say, I accept that. No, the challenge is to let that go. It's not to keep that. Like, that's the... I'm a run with this. Yeah, no, that's a wrong choice. I'm telling you, that's the wrong one. Like, the baby's eyes, one is up, one is down. That's not wandering eye. Those
One's
are
on his
separate
chin.
eyeballs. Yo, stop that. What the?
They look like the thing from Ice Age with the eyes that are on the sides.
I just don't get
It's
it, bro.
weird. It looks like a frog.
I don't get what the fuck is happening. All right, what did you send me, Bree? You sent me some shit. Let's talk about it because I feel like this goes into what we are talking about right now. Let's get it. What is this? What is this? What is this? What is this?
I don't know. Yeah, this one. It's not centered though because it's short. It's
Yeah,
all
I
the way
got it.
on the right side.
I got it. It's fine. You could hear it, right? It's fine.
Remember when trans activist Dylan Mulvaney escaped to Peru to get away from the hate in America?
Okay, surprise! I'm in Peru, and I'm at Machu Picchu. Isn't this just so beautiful? I'm here by myself. I've seen a lot of llamas, and the people here are so kind. I feel very safe here. It's a little sad that I had to leave my country to feel safe, but that will get better eventually. And I am dying for some Trader Joe's rolled chili lime chips, but other than that, I am so content. Still haven't been kissed yet, but I'm holding out hope. And most of all, you know, this trip has just has me feeling like I'm my own best friend again. And that is the best feeling in the world. And I hope that you feel that way about yourself too.
But we haven't heard from Dylan since Peru officially classified transgender, non-binary and intersex people as mentally ill. It's a decision that has been slammed by LGBTQ plus activist groups. Remember when trans...
Okay. What's the thought of this?
That Peru classifies it correctly as a mental illness, and that U.S. people are upset that they are classifying it correctly. It's a little funny that the trans activist went to a country that now says you have a mental illness, and now they have to come back home to the country that gave them so much hate and didn't make them feel
let's
safe.
go back
It's a
to
little
that. I hate
ironic.
to keep circling back to this like I'm Joe Biden's secretary, but let's circle back real quick. Is the problem that transgenders don't want to accept that they have a mental illness?
I don't think anybody wants to accept that they have a mental illness. Like, I don't think anybody's ever been told you have a mental illness, and they were like, "Oh yeah, cool."
Well, I accept that I have PTSD.
That's a little different.
Why is that different?
I'm talking about like autism. Like, they don't want to believe that they have they don't
Tony
want
accepts
to
that
have
he has
that.
autism.
They don't want it. If you had a choice of autism or not autism, you would pick not autism.
Right, but I wouldn't deny that I have it.
But you don't want to be told that you have something wrong with you.
You have ADHD. You don't care when people tell you that you have ADHD.
Because I'm wonderful.
Yes.
You are wonderful, but do you understand the argument? You are picking and choosing your mental illness.
Well, I mean, if a doctor was like, you have ADHD, I was like, there ain't no way to fix this. Like,
Oh, no, there's a way to fix it. It's called Ritalin.
yeah, but that's medicines. You have to keep taking.
Oh, so you want a specific way where you could talk someone out of their mental illness?
No, I want kind of like a switch to be flipped. Like, no maintenance required.
Surgery.
Like a
But the
lobotomy.
PTSD is different in the way that
Because it's acquired.
not something. Yeah, it's not something you were born with. It's not something that you manifested on your own. It's because of certain circumstances that were forced onto you. No?
Isn't that the same as autism?
Isn't that the same thing as transgenderism? They got a bunch
Nope.
of people on social media and they're showing that it's okay and they become famous and people desire to be famous, so they become a transgender and then they start believing it. Why would that
Then
be
we're
any
talking
different than
transgender.
PTSD?
And we're talking transgender. You're
Sure,
not.
but it's
You're not trending with what you have.
no.
I mean,
No, I also don't make videos about it because
Well,
it's, you know,
see,
it
that's
is
what
what
I-
it is.
And also, PTSD could be proven.
yeah, and you're gonna have the people that I stubbed my toe and I got PTSD from it. That
is a good point. The proof that is a good point. That's a good point because you can prove the PTSD. You can prove autism. You can prove ADHD. Can you prove transgender aside from intersex? Can you prove that? How?
No, because
If
your
you prove-
body would be producing like whatever hormones you're supposed to have. Your body wouldn't stop producing those hormones.
So
unless
if
you
a
told it to
man
stop.
is creating less testosterone and more estrogen, that would be proof that why they would feel more like a woman.
Well, sometimes that happens to men by accident, right?
Yeah, like Tony. I'm sure he doesn't. He always talks about his testosterone in chats. I'll talk about him that he has to take testosterone because he has low levels. But I don't think Tony feels like a woman.
Or when men get older, they need testosterone. When women get older, they need estrogen.
The question
like,
is there a way to prove that someone is transgender?
Well, if the brain is wired like a woman's brain, if you can check that, then but that would only be the true trans people. All
I
the
know how to check
trenders
it.
would be no.
I know how to check if it's a man or if it's a woman. What you do is you have a messy fridge, you have stuff spilled on the floor, you have dishes on the counter, and then you have packages at the door. A man would go and get the packages, would go organize the fridge, would go and do dishes, and would mop the stuff on the floor. A woman would throw paper towels on the ground, grab one thing out of the fridge, put one dish in the dishwasher, go outside, grab one package with no pants on, come back inside, look at the paper towel on the floor, be like, it's going to soak up more, go back to the fridge, take out one more thing, but put the other back. Like, women are spaghetti. A man.
That's more ADHD,
that is how we
I
test
think.
it.
Yeah, I think that's you just described yourself versus me. Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A man versus a woman. A woman will do things in the most disorganized, chaotic way, but they'll all get done. A man will do each task on its own, specifically paying attention to each task on its
Women
own.
are like spaghetti, men are like waffles.
See, if
Yes,
it has
men
a
are
nothing
wonderful
box,
waffles.
if it has a nothing box, it's a male. If it doesn't have a nothing box, it's female.
It's a vagina nothing box.
No. Nothing box. It can sit. It can sit down, empty its mind, and just stare into a fire or whatever, and think about nothing.
That's
Which
a
women
man.
hate usually, because then they go take out the trash. Hate seeing men just thinking about nothing.
Yeah, men are able to chill.
I mean, it's very accurate. When you present problems to a man, he'll do one by one by one by one by one.
Logical.
By one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
don't know
like
if it's a matter of
Jay with the
logic,
slingshot, he would take one piece, focus on that one piece, focus on that one seat. What Bree would do is I would unscrew some bolts over here, unscrew some bolts over there, probably unscrew a couple more over here, screw a couple more over there, take both seats out, and then go make a sandwich. Come back, not know where the bolts go, not know where the seats go, not know what's going on, just kind of slam them together, and I'd end up with a half-heated, half-not-heated seat.
Nice.
Like, that's what would happen to me.
Start stitching seats together.
What are these bolts for? I have 3 extra.
I
Fair
think
ball
one goes
would
in
be
my
okay.
sandwich.
Jay is nuts. He can take something apart. It has different size bolts, nuts, washers, all that stuff. This madman leaves them in a pile. They are not organized. In my head, I'm like, those should be there, those should be there, those should be there. They should be separated so that you know where they go. He just reaches into the pile and grabs out the correct thing and puts it on. I'm like, how did he know? There's just a
Memory.
mess of bolts right here. Like,
No, it's just memory. That's just memory. That's all that is.
And a bit of logic. You're not gonna attach a seat with a bolt that's yay and I mean that's gonna be a more substantial bolt than the one you use to hold the dashboard up. I mean,
What's this one, Brie?
that one is a bit of levity. It is one of my favorite videos, actually, that I've seen this year.
Time for our What Were They Thinking segment. Lots of commencement ceremonies have been getting attention online lately over protests and walkouts or even cancellations. But a wild video from one ceremony at Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia blew up for a completely different reason. I mean, reason. It was the way they pronounced the graduates' names.
Carolina Urina. Michilu
Shit, my audio's out. Hold on. Damn it. Hold on. Give me something. Just the right one, whatever.
We do not have audio.
No.
Lynn
That's a bummer.
Bower.
Now?
Oh,
Good.
go back a little. It came.
Alice Sue
It came, please.
Efuni Batista Santos. Jessica Lynn Bower. Alisuna Cole Bishop. Sayer Uvun Jinju Brinon.
Are they dyslexic?
I don't know, but it is just wonderful.
Victoria Lee Zubeth-Ross. Marlena Zobeth Camp. Tamulme Thomas.
Tamume.
Wait, what is wrong with them?
And so the lady is blaming it on the enunciation words that were underneath these people's names. So like Bree, well that one's hard. Jorn would have like a JO-RN. Someone messed up her cards for the pronunciations, and that's what she's saying, and that's why she read every single name wrong.
But the name is above the pronunciation, no?
It is Tamume.
Unless you had a stroke on stage,
Or you're dyslexic and certain letters are flipped, so you don't know how to read it.
It's not even
what's
flipped
amazing
letters.
is this person is a professor at the school, and they cannot pronounce the name of the school, which is Thomas Jefferson School. She said Tamume for Thomas. She cannot pronounce the school that she is a professor at.
Oh, that is rough.
I got a degree from I got a degree from Thomas Jefferson. Oh yeah, okay. You had the whatever. Yeah.
You have Miss Tamume over there.
Yeah. Next candidate. Thank you.
Oh, my audio is bad. Are you say something?
Potato.
Hello.
Oh, I should have said hello.
Should have said hello.
On count of three from
Again.
Hello.
1,
Again
2,
on 3.
Potato.
3, 2, 1.
Potato.
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 Patateo.
Okay, I want you guys to say the word tomato, how you would say it.
Got it.
Tomato.
How do people in your country say
Tomateo.
the word tomato?
Tomaat.
Not.
Well, like you know how? Okay, what about potato?
Patat.
Aardappel.
Yeah, but we're going for the slang that.
Okay. You're right. That's.
I think
We're
Joel
going
said
for
what
the
the
thing
fuck?
that sounds the most like what Bree is asking, no? Aardappel.
Yes.
Direct translation, that what you said isn't correct Dutch. So,
Patat.
yeah, potato, patat.
Well, because like people in the United States would say potato, but people from the UK might say potato. That's what I was going for.
Oh, yeah,
Potato,
that's correct.
Well, that's because
Switch that.
people from UK don't even know proper fucking English.
What about water?
Water.
Water.
Wait, you mean here or?
Well, I mean, like we say water. Like we don't
Water.
pronounce the T. We put a D in the middle of it. for
Oh,
some
see,
reason.
I don't even say it the way you say it. Say it again, Brie.
Water.
I don't say it like that.
Give me a water.
I say, give me a water. I don't say water. I say water.
Water.
Like wood-er.
Give me a wooder.
No, I'm not saying wooder. I say, give me a water. Wood.
Give me a water.
Wood. Water.
Give me a wooder.
Water.
The fact that
Give me a
you're from
water.
the same area I am and you're not saying it the same way I do is weird.
I think it's because I'm thinking about it like really hard right now. All my brain power is like, don't.
Yeah, I say water. Give me a water.
What do you guys pronounce weird over there that we don't say correctly over here to you?
Well, everything we would
Wait.
say would be correct to them.
Well, because like some people pronounce words differently depending on where they are from.
but they know their English from me.
Oh,
So
it's very difficult.
yeah, it's going to be difficult. They would have to catch me on saying something wrong for them to hear it somewhere else correctly.
so we can ask them what a jammy is, and they'll actually be like, "Oh, this jammy." But if we ask someone else, they'd be like, "What's a jammy?"
Well, let's see here, Matthew. What's a jammy?
A thing.
Jordan, same thing. Yeah, it could be
Same
anything.
thing.
It's
Yeah,
anything.
it could
It could be
be-
a pill. It could be an aspirin. It could be a vape. It could be anything.
It could be a gender.
Yeah,
And it's got that
you could have a
jammy.
jammy. You could have a jammy too. Sure.
Yeah.
Oh no, you heard what Bethany said in chat, Bray? She said they say
Yeah.
tomato differently. We say tomato.
Yes, they say tomato instead of tomato.
Potato, potato, tomato, tomato.
I've never heard anybody say potato though.
Well,
That sounds retarded.
England?
Potato?
English?
I think
Potato?
that's
Like
how
potato
people from the
chips?
Bronx say that.
That's a saying. Potato, tomato, tomato. It's a saying. So
Yeah, but there's people that actually say tomato. I don't know anybody that says potato. Let me get
Probably is,
some potato
right?
chips.
No.
Can I have a stuffed potato? No, well, you would.
They laugh at
Oh.
you.
Nobody says. Nobody
Okay,
says
Jay,
that way.
when we go to Wildwood, I want you to ask for, like,
Mashed potatoes.
yes, or
right.
something. If they have tomatoes or potatoes, I want you to pronounce it totally wrong and see if they snicker.
Got it.
well,
And that's
I know
for
somebody.
Belgian
When we get the
instead.
French fries, I'll say what kind of potatoes are those.
Potatoes.
Well, are those russet potatoes or red potatoes?
Well,
Now I'm gonna
The
start
lady
saying it all the time, and that's literally gonna be my new word.
What? The lady that gives out the diplomas, she might say it.
No, she would say pie tates. Oh,
She would say Palasica. She would just pronounce it so wrong. That one chick's
Or-
name is not even phonetically that way. Like, one of them, it was nowhere near close.
how did you
Like,
find that? Like, how did you get recommended that video?
Because I saw shorts that were talking about, like, this mispronunciation, and at first I just skipped them, but I kept seeing them, so I was like, all right, I might as well watch it. And I'm listening. I'm like, there's no way that this is real. Like, this has to be fake because it is too ridiculous to be real, and it was real. And that clip that I shared is the longest clip that I could find of that thing. Like, all the other clips are shortened. Like, it's only one
Oh,
one
okay,
word
like it's
or
one name. Right.
Yeah, so that was like an actual video that had pretty much the whole thing in it.
Yeah, but I could see the problem when it's weird looking names, but nobody goes and looks at that piece of paper and sees Jessica and goes, how do you pronounce that? It's a fairly common US name. The same with Thomas. Nobody goes like, wow, this could be literally
Tomate.
anything. Tomate.
It reminds me of that video that was made a long time ago where the black teacher was a substitute for a white teacher
Oh, yeah.
in a room full of white students, and he was like, "Hey, Aaron," and he was like, "You mean Aaron?" And he was like, "Don't you mess with me, Aaron. I know what your name is. I can read." Like, all of the words that he read, like, the names were all butchered on purpose.
Oh,
Huh.
Yes, mandatory vasectomies, you say 13 to 70. I say, let's start around 11 and make sure you to extend it to at least 85. You don't want anybody slipping through, even though the majority of them don't really live past 70, whatever.
Really?
I don't get it.
Did it start too late?
no.
Really?
Well, I
Now
don't
that's
get it.
absolutely
I don't get it.
It's a new thing that several of those influencer or whatever you want to call them, TikTokers, several of those ladies, they are kind of promoting that we should snip males from the age of 11 or 13.
Wait, all males?
All males. And you should get a permit if you ever want to procreate and be tested and prove that you're able to.
Isn't that what you want? Or Jordan wants that?
Well, the permit thing I'm on board with, to go to the extreme to get them all. Well, it could work. It could work. I'm just saying, if everyone actually have to prove that they're capable of actually...
Well, then you wouldn't go with 11 and 13, go with 18. As soon as you turn 18, you got to get fixed. Unless you can prove otherwise that what's your business plan for having a baby?
Yeah, but it's because they're laying the blame for every pregnancy that is not, or family value, or kid that's mother that's left on her own or whatever, or is on her own. They're laying the blame with men. It's nothing to do with the women, according to them. It's only men. I thought you needed two people to have sex and to have a baby, but I could be wrong. So I'd say it's on both of them.
The unfair thing is that women can be whores and get pregnant and force the man to pay child support. That's like the difference. So even though she's a single mom, she chose to continue to have that child.
Yeah, and then you have
and if they broke up after the fact, obviously you weren't keeping your husband happy.
Yeah, but then you also get into the region of entrapment where the guy uses condoms, but she's with a needle and she's pricking holes in them to get pregnant and get a kid.
We knew someone that did that though. Like we were actually like an advocate for the men so there was a particular instance where we heard a woman speaking about poking holes in condoms because she wanted to get pregnant. And this is a woman on a scale of 1 to 10.
Amanda, you're talking
Yo,
about.
I was trying to be all discreet and you just came up with a name.
I don't give a shit. I don't fucking care.
Anyway, this woman on a scale of 1 to 10 is like a solid 1.5. Like she has a vagina and she has 2 eyes. Like she's a woman. That's about it. So
that's all you need, really.
That she
you don't even need the eyes.
Holes in the condom. And there were other men at this event, and we were like, because this one dude was getting particularly close to this woman because she was easy, and this man is also a 1.05 on a scale of 10. Like, he is nothing. There is nothing good, funny, attractive, or sexy about this person. They just have a penis. So we even went out of our way to warn them, hey, she's poking holes in condoms so that way you give her a baby. And he thought about it for a second. Like, he wanted vagina that bad that he was like, what's the chance?
Yeah, that's a true story. Wow. Amanda Ekon. That's her name.
Well, this chick also had this chick had a comment on it, but she made another response to that. Had a comment on one of her videos talking about that, and it was a guy saying, "Yeah, but if women can abort a child without consent of a man, we should be able to abort paying for it. If she doesn't,
it doesn't work like that."
You know, there's actually so when I first saw this video, I thought it was real. It wasn't until I did further research I realized that it was not real. It is a woman who is bragging about suing her sperm donor for child support and being awarded it by the court. I thought it was totally legit because this lady doesn't look like a liar. And the comments all seem pretty darn legit. And I look it up and it is fake. And the only time that it was awarded was when a guy was a sperm donor in person. he went around to women's houses and had sex with them to get them pregnant. And the court determined that he does owe them child support because it was not done by a physician in a medical standing. I kind of agree with that one. But I thought it was totally legit. How do you feel about that? Like being able to be sued for donating your sperm.
Yeah, then people are gonna stop donating sperm. It's that simple.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy that if I want to have a baby, no one looks into me. No one looks into my finances. No one looks into nothing. But if you want to adopt a child, there's this whole crazy thing that you have to go through to adopt a child that other people didn't want. You think that you should just give it to me because I'm interested. You know, like if there's a dirty old car on the parking lot, you're not gonna like question my motives and why I want the car. You're just gonna be like, please take this. Same thing for these used children. Nobody wants them. I do. I want to take it. But you want to go through my house, check my outlets, check my income, and all this stuff. It's so dumb. Same thing for dogs. Like, you go to check if someone has a fenced-in yard for some dog that was just found on the side of Taco Bell. Like, no one wanted it.
Like this.
Someone wants to pay to take care of it. Let them.
So what you want, Bree, is actually like baby pounds, where you go visit and pick one that's cute. This could work. This could work.
Yes. We put way too much nonsense in front of taking the unwanted. There's no questionnaire at Goodwill. You know, for someone's old salt and pepper shakers.
See, I kind of agree with the roadblocks. I kind of agree with the roadblocks they put in place. I do not agree when it's just two consenting adults that it should be that easy. Oh, I want a kid. Okay, you can get a kid. Listen, if you want to drive on a road, you got to get a driver license, you need to get insurance, you need a car. This is a life we're talking about. I want proof that you're financially stable, that you're mentally stable, and then I'll consider you getting a kid. That should be the basis. I know you can't enforce that on humankind, but what's so bad about what I just suggested? It's all these people that are already living off the state that are getting 4 or 5 kids. How is that logical?
But that's for financial gain. So that's easily fixed. You can go like, okay, 1 will help you a little. But if you get 4, you're going to take care of them yourself. If you really want 4 kids,
no support?
Okay, you can have 4 kids. You're going to pay the price for it. Not us, not other taxpayers.
We'll cover the first one. The rest is on you.
Yeah.
So then what happens? So then what happens if they continue to have the babies? They don't have any support. You can have a bunch of dead babies on the road.
Maybe they should have gotten fixed.
I got that, but I'm just saying. So now the collateral damage is what? You got a bunch of dead babies. What do you do?
Orphanage, where you can just pick them up.
So then that's taxpayers' money.
Yeah, but we're making it easier.
Then they become. There you go. Free people. You put them in the army, or they become cops, or you put them as government employees. You paid for it. The state is paying for it.
Well, if you think about it, China's got it pretty much on lock. Child labor, like they're working, they're earning their living. Nobody wanted you anyway.
A lot of people don't agree with child labor. I don't know why, but a lot of people don't agree with slave shops.
Well, if they were going to be an orphan, or they could be a productive member of society.
No, I get the argument. I kind of agree.
One's a burden, one's kind of all right.
One makes shoes, the other one steals shoes. So
the one that makes shoes has something to eat at the end of the week,
right? Versus the kid that steals shoes is just selling the people that can't buy them. I say, by all means, you want to have children mow your grass and power wash the side of your house? Do it.
That's what people use their own kids for. Like, go get the remote. Go get daddy a beer.
Do they still do that now? I don't know.
No, not now. Now you just give them an iPad. You just throw some electronics at it, and it'll go away.
You throw an iPad at its head.
No.
I'm gonna share one more video. Yeah, I called Brandon. What's this one? What's this?
How's your partner supposed to? What do you want?
I want someone who has a high level of integrity. I want someone who's kind, not nice. And I want someone who is very disciplined. Because the thing is, like, people talk about, oh, I want this job, I want this lifestyle, yada, yada, whatever it is. I think if you focus on core values and characteristics of people, that is something that you can go a lot further with, because they will end up being there. Your partner doesn't need to be everything for you. We are social animals. It's not fair to put everything on a guy in this situation, to be your best friend, your confidant, the one that's supposed to provide you excitement, but also stability and security. It's not fair to ask one person to give you all these things when most of us can't even give it to ourselves.
Sure.
So it's looking for what you need, not necessarily what you want.
You said if you don't know what you want, how's your partner?
Well, I have a certain set of feelings for that woman in the shape of her head, but
Comedy.
What do you want?
I know, I get it. I mean, the shape of her head is quite interesting. It reminds me of an egg.
Or a spoon.
Or a spoon. I get that.
Yeah, a nice spoon.
Yeah, like if the spoon's upside down. Yeah, it's
someone who has a high level of integrity.
Like that's an interesting shaped head. Like it's
she's the prettiest one in there.
Like if someone
That's
said
tough.
draw a head, it would be hers. Like
every character ever drawn has been based off of your head.
Yes.
Ad hominem, bro. Ad hominem. Yeah. All right, so I didn't even get the message there. What's the message in that video? I was so focused on her spoon head. What's the message? So treat people.
No, pick a person for his core, pick a man for his core values instead of picking him because he is a 9 out of 10, or the looks, the money, the social status, whatever. She says
There's
it's
been
more important.
so much shade on women lately. Like there has been so much, and I think because we all base women off of these girls on OnlyFans. Is that fair?
Well, there's a lot of them on OnlyFans.
I get that. I get that.
9 out of 10 women will purposely marry you and divorce you to take half of what you have.
That's a high percentage.
Yeah.
You don't understand. Women are taught this from a young age. My mom did this. And she told me how to do it. She was like, what you do is, when I would date boys in high school, she would be like, don't date him. I would be like, why? She's like, because his family has no money. And I'd be like, what do you mean? And she said, that's not going to amount to anything. You're going to have a harder life. You cannot be with that person. And of course I rebelled. I didn't care. I found people that I liked and I dated them. But she got with people who had money so they would buy her stuff. When she wasn't with my dad, she would date these other men and then they would buy her things, pay our bills, make sure we had water on, that kind of stuff. And she married a man who on a scale of a 1 to 10 is a hot 0, a really good 0. And because he is financially stable, he is beyond financially stable. So she married him because even though all of the things about him are negative, the money being a positive outweighs everything else.
Everything.
And that's what they teach you on TV shows and movies is the woman marries the guy with the most amount of money. The most amount of stuff.
To take care of her, though, not for her to take it all.
Right. But I mean...
if you look at the stats, 80% of divorces are initiated by women.
What happened
with
to
the top thing being, what is it, Colby? Irreconcilable differences.
irreconcilable differences, which just means they cannot get along anymore.
It means absolutely nothing and everything.
No.
So he
What did
likes
you
the
say?
color blue. I like the color purple. We have an irreconcilable difference. Let's get a divorce.
Wow. That's what me and my last wife got, and we weren't even married, so that's a good thing. Because it worked for me. Sorry, it didn't work out for you, Matthew. What did you say? What did you say, Bree? What happened to the poor Amazon guy? Oh, Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, that dude started Amazon. He had all this money. He had this beautiful wife. She left him and took half of Amazon. Like, that's crazy.
Again.
Women should not be allowed to take half of a man's stuff. That is insanity.
Well,
It's
wait.
today's day and age where men and women are equal. How come we get half of your stuff?
Because we're equal.
Yeah, but
I will
you
say
can
this:
get
if you had it before you were married, you should get nothing. If you helped me create it or you took care of the kids, I think you deserve some of it. And the key word is some of it here.
Yeah.
Now, not alimony for the rest of your life. No. You look at what I have right now, and you could take a third of that. Or, yeah, that's a lot, a third. Not half. 1/3 is yours. I agree. You took care of the kids. You did all the stuff. You didn't work. Yes, you got 1/3.
Yep.
Half? No. Unless you put half the money in to create that and half the time? No. Because I was with those kids 1/3 of that day. That's what I feel like you deserve is 1/3.
Alimony is a joke too.
Oh,
Because my
absolutely.
mom started dating her current husband, I think for 8 years, while collecting alimony from my father when this guy was living in the house that my father was paying
Yeah.
for because they weren't
No.
married yet. So the alimony didn't stop. That is a loophole that is so unfair.
That's not cool.
Right?
And then a man to get alimony from a woman?
Good luck.
As a judge, I'd be like, you want to take money from the girl?
Yes. Weird.
So
Feel
tell
like
me
we're
what
giving you
Tell me what
the wrong lessons to people.
What's the incentive for current day men to get married?
What's the incentive?
Yeah.
To spend the rest of your life with that person?
But that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, but
What?
that's the incentive.
That's my incentive to marry Bree.
Yeah. But most of the time, that's not a thing anymore.
I think what Matthew's
think
getting
originally
at, back in
people
the
go
day,
into it.
when you married someone, they would take care of your house, take care of your children, and take care of you. But nowadays, when you get married, they are taking care of themselves, and you are taking care of yourself.
And
I
then
think
they
that's what it
leave.
means.
And then they leave you and take half.
But that doesn't
destroy
change
your
the
life.
incentive. That doesn't change the incentive. That just changes the
No, but-
results.
But if you see all these things, why would you want to get married as a man? You have
Because
more
that
to
person is
lose.
different. Because the
Yeah, but
person
you
you're
have more to
marrying is
lose
different.
than you have to gain.
Yeah, but then then you just make poor choices as a man. The incentive doesn't change. You have to find a different woman that's willing to.
Keep in
Problem
mind,
is,
it's the
it's not-
same with reviews. It's the same with reviews. You're not talking about marriage as a failed institute. That's because, well, you only hear the horror stories. You don't really get to see the ones that
positive
make
things,
it.
yeah.
No, you get
So you're
numbers
saying,
out.
looking at me and Bree's marriage, Matthew, how good we are together, that wouldn't entice you or incentivize to find a woman
Yes.
like Bree to get
No,
married?
I'm not saying that. But,
Well, then
but
that's
you
your
guys
answer.
are. No, because you guys are an exception on the standard rule of these days. Most of them end in divorce, crying, tears, using the children, weaponizing them, destroying your good name, whatever.
But
That's
you
becoming
can't
more and more prevalent.
make a rule based off of exceptions. Or you can't say something is true based off of general publicity when you have exceptions. Because then that rule's not true anymore.
But
Like
there's
you
always
can't
going to
say
be an exception to the rule
well,
most of the time.
yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Waivers. Oh, okay.
But
I just
we're not saying
because you
like
see a majority of people that have bad wedding or bad marriages or bad women doesn't mean that they're all bad women out there.
No. But that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying in general, the biggest amount of marriages now end up that way. That's a statistic. That's you can look those up. That's not like speculation or whatever. I'm not saying they don't exist good marriages. Of course they do. That's the hope you have. Like
well, that's the incentive then, right? Is the hope that you find that one off. That's your incentive.
What should it be? That one off. It's not written on their foreheads.
No.
Well, the lady before had enough room, but
I
it's not
agree.
written on the forehead.
But that goes together with the first risk you take when you go up to a woman, right? It's all a risk involved. It's another level of risk you're taking to get married, but it's the same risk.
There was always risk involved of the relationship not working. The only bad thing is nowadays the risk has gone up significantly because there are, like Bree just said, bunch of women that are just after your money or after whatever.
Fine.
And
fine, more risk, more reward. To find that diamond, yes, of course. To find that, and I hate to keep using Bree, but to find that diamond in the rough that shines over everything else, it just makes it that much more better. That it still gives you hope that it's still possible. I mean, finding that
until you marry 3 times and you're left with nothing.
Hi. No,
I'm new here.
No, I've been married 3 times.
James was paying like 8 child supports at once.
Yeah, bro.
Like they were consolidated.
Hi. So if anybody had anybody to lose hope, it'd be this guy. I've been married 3 times, got 9 kids, got no cars, no house. I ain't got shit. I don't believe in women at all.
It took you bloody 4 times.
Yeah, 5. 5. But again, I still more risk, more reward. Just keep looking. You'll find. I truly believe that there is not one. I believe that there is probably a handful or 10 people out there for you that you got to bend a little bit. You got to give a little bit. Like I gave up Bree's intelligence because she's a good woman. She's about as smart as that potato. But see, I'm already picking it up. I still, but even though it's that rare, if anything, if you're willing to take the risk, you're never going to know that's out there. So you have to approach that woman. You have to, you don't know.
Yes, you can approach her. You can live together with her. Why marry her?
Why not?
To call her your wife.
Yes.
Make it official.
It's like calling dibs, but an adult.
Yeah, like you can't touch this shit. I own that bitch. Like I own her legally.
It's like unless you've been living together for 10 years or whatever, you know the person for 10 years and you know what she's about and you know what she is and who she is, then you can go like, oh, let's get married. But
you're never gonna know until you sign a paper. We all been married. You're never gonna know until you sign a paper. Right? You'll never, there's things that I didn't find out about Brie until after we've been married for like 2 years, right? Still finding out shit now, right? So you'll never know, even living with somebody. It's something that when you sign that paper, which I will agree, things change. I don't know what it is, and I've done it 5 times, 4 times. You think I would have picked it up? Something changes.
I think it's mental. I think that men just imagine something changes. I don't have the mental capacity on a day-to-day basis to keep track of how I am supposed to be different now. You know, every day is the same to me. It never changes. So,
but that diamond in the rough, though. That's the point, though, Brie.
It's just like
there's not a lot of women out there like you, and I'm not trying to make you smile or get in your pennies. There's not a lot of women that are like you. Like you are even these women that are doing it for publicity or fame online, we don't know if those are real people. Everybody on this panel and 90% of the people in chat know you. That is really you. I've been with a lot of women. I've never met a woman like you. Never. Never. Never.
So in your other marriages, did anal stop once you got married?
Did anal stop? What a weird question.
Well, because
no, sex stops.
Determine it as
sex
altogether.
Sex. Yes. Yeah. Look at Jordan. He's working on 2 years.
You don't get that pussy.
You don't get that pussy.
You just gotta buy her more crayons, man. Wait, that makes it sound like Jordan's dating someone else. Jordan's wife is like 65. Okay, she just likes the color. She's really into color.
Get her a coloring book, bro. Jesus. Tell him he's married to a toddler without telling him. You know what you got to do? You got to bring her to preschool earlier. Oh, wow. Okay. She's a teacher, by the way, Jay. I
went a different route. You went with a taller. I went with the
teacher.
Teacher. Yep.
No, it does. Once you get married, the sex just I don't know what it is. You're still attracted to people. You're still living together. It's once you sign that paper, it could be like you're saying a mental thing. It could be
so weird. We knew a couple, and they were amazing together. And they lived together for like 5 or 10 years or whatever. And then, why don't we? They got married, and it lasted 6 months, and they were apart and never spoke to each other again.
What happened?
Nothing changed except the fact that they got married. Nothing else.
There has to be something else. That makes no sense.
Wow. I mean, you hear about stories, and it just seems so unbelievable. I mean, all of mine were all terrible examples. 2 cheaters, 3 cheaters, back to back to back to back. So, and then fatness, back to back. So, mine are just bad examples. Just
oh my gosh, that's why I stay in the house all day, and you got me a treadmill and a bike that doesn't go anywhere.
So if you're gonna run, you can't run away from me, and that's why you're such a poor runner. Is I don't let you get good at running, so you don't know how to get away. Yes.
That makes so much sense.
That's right.
But
that's why you put that little leash on you.
Chain.
She's really good at biking, which
she'd have to get it out of the door that her bike doesn't fit.
That's true. Yeah, that's smart.
She has to disassemble her bike, but she doesn't know how to do it. I do. So.
But then you
I don't know how he does
her
it.
lessons to drive the slingshot, which she can take the slingshot now.
No, he got the slingshot so that way I couldn't drive it. It's a 6 shift.
Well, and it's, to be fair, you need a code to start it.
And that code's always changing.
So complicated.
Yeah. You
just stay inside. Don't worry about it.
Stay in the kitchen. Everything is safe. You have tools around you to help you survive. You have
I have the grocery store on my phone.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
You got people of different colors out there, people that are shape-shifting. Just stay inside.
It's safer if you stay in there. Yes. It's better that way.
Mm-hmm.
For all involved.
Agree. It's probably better you don't go to the grocery store, right, Brie? No grocery store.
No. There's bad people there who want to hurt me.
Yes.
Then again, if you do go, you can touch babies.
No. Because I would want to pick it up and walk away with it.
And I will never see you again. And in the place that you're going, you will be in a closed room and you won't be safe.
What about my treadmill?
Your treadmill will not be safe either.
No!
Yes. Yes.
I don't think they have treadmills.
No, they have a thing called a yard. You can run around
Same
that
thing.
for a while.
Yes.
And dropping the soap, that's a whole different meaning.
Yes.
I think for girls that they don't KTB each other.
Oh.
What kind of porn you got?
Are you in for a surprise when you do go?
You will see a lack of broomsticks. That's all I'm going to say.
All we have is a bunch of mop heads.
And a lot of electrical toothbrushes. A lot.
Why are people so horny?
I don't know. You explain.
Well, I mean, like, they're in a place where they can't procreate, right?
Again, you explain. You're checking your boxes. I can't procreate. Why are you so horny?
Because my vagina doesn't know that you're fixed.
But
you know,
you
it
do. And
thinks
you
that it's
control
doing
your
a great
vagina.
job.
It's
I
attached
do not
to you.
control my vagina.
Right.
Like, you don't control your penis. It just gets hard. Vaginas just get wet.
I'm writing this down. That's not how it works.
Yeah, I don't. I guess sure. You can somewhat control it. You distract it.
How?
By throwing
Baseball.
things at it.
Like yarn?
Sure. Any household goods. Remember that kitchen with the metal box and the things inside of it that we eat? You could take something out
The
of that.
refrigerator?
You could throw things from that at it. That'll also stop it.
Jay.
In some cases,
What do
you
you-
just give it little fluffy things.
Wait,
and-
go, Brie. You remember her one-track mind. We have to let her go when she talks.
What are you not supposed to put in a microwave?
Aluminum foil, metal.
What is a microwave made out of?
Metal.
How?
It's insulated.
But there's metal.
Yeah, but it's insulated. It's not in the radioactive
inside
waves.
Microwave. Like, you could go, like, to the microwave walls.
Yeah.
That's all metal.
Yeah, because it's insulated.
I don't know, man. I don't know there's metal in it, but you can't put metal in it.
You actually do bring a valid point. The dish that spins is metal. The thing that holds that, how?
But that's coated and has rubber feet, right? Like the pizza, the pizza thing.
The
that's
thing that
coated in
it
something.
spins on is a metal
That
rod.
rotates.
And it rotates the dish.
That's plastic here.
Oh, mine's metal.
It's
It's got to be a certain
It's
type of
also-
metal.
The beams that come out of the microwave are produced in the microwave, they're pointed.
Wait, what happened? What is?
They're directional. The beams that create the microwave beams, they're directional. So it has a focal point in the middle as well.
Right.
You know what's nuts?
What
eat
Spade
that.
says, because it's designed to have X amount of metal somewhere. Yeah, I mean, because mine in the center is, I can take a picture for you guys. It's a bolt. It's a metal bolt, but it somehow it does not spark. It might be a certain type of metal or coated in something to where those waves cannot penetrate that
And
metal.
grounded.
Yeah,
Grounded
it's
probably.
something on it.
Yeah.
It's also a high-end microwave, so. Yeah.
Because you need metal in a microwave. Otherwise, you'll be cooked if you stand around it. That's why the door, the glass, it has those tiny holes in it. That's metal in that door. That stops the microwave.
but
If
you
you
know-
were to take a regular pane
Do
of
you
glass
know-
and put it in there,
Check this out.
you'll be cooked.
You want me to blow your fucking mind? I bet you nobody here knows this. You ever seen a windshield of a car or the rear window? Do you
Yeah.
know what those little dots are that are around it? Look at a windshield, you'll see little black dots all on the edge of it. Do you know what
Design.
that is? What are they for, Matthew?
Pretty.
No, it's a purpose.
Yeah, nobody knows what it is, but I do.
Is it raindrops or something? No.
Nope.
No, what was it? It has a purpose. I can't remember.
Ah, Alicia knows. So what it does is, as the windshield gets hot, right, those suck heat out of the glass.
Oh.
That guy that designed that got $400 million for that design.
So
He
it
deserves
stops the windscreen from cracking or breaking because of heat formation?
That's
Yep.
what's on our microwave too. Are those little ducks.
$400 million cash. Oh, shit! God dog, I need to create dots on a glass.
What are the chances? What are the chances that he went, ooh, this is a cool design. Hey, it actually helps with heat. Yeah, that's why I designed it. Not for the cool pattern on it.
It is so fascinating, bro. I was like, wow, genius. And they still use it today. They use it in house windows, microwave windows, everything. It's just a little piece of fucking paint. Wow. Fascinating. All right. Well, I got to call Brandon because he's been calling me because of jail, bro.
I want a thing!
Oh, that was all, Mama.
Yeah.
Show and tell! Show and tell! I want a medal!
A participation trophy.
That's a big boy.
You only get it if you get through the end. So it's not a participation because you paid a lot of money for it. And you had to actually do the event.
Okay, that's fair enough. Okay, that's fair enough. Okay.
And I did win a prize. We just didn't wait around for it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
First place for women aged 31 or 30 to 34 years old. I was 5th place for women, and I was 15th for men and women. Tell me that men are not better than women if there's 10 of them that are ahead of me when there was only 4 women ahead of me.
That's a good point. The only argument you could have is if you had one woman excel. I mean, even when we looked at the world records, right? The world record for the men is shorter than. I mean, it's obvious that men are
significantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. If people argue and say that they're not, they are. Right? It's just I don't think it has anything to do with bone density. I just think strength, right? Endurance. Men are going to have that over women.
And muscles. And mental conviction. Men are good at being mentally sound.
Stubborn.
That's why it's not even fair when you put a man. Oh, I'm a woman. You put him in a female sport. Oh, I'm on estrogen. That's not even fair because it never the bone structure and the muscle how they are built, how they are made, that never goes away. It might lessen a bit, but it's never going to be at the same level as a woman.
Yep, totally different structures. Their hips are different. Your shoulders are different. Like
Did you know that when a woman is pregnant, you could have the baby change? You could do things to modify the gender of the baby.
Depending on the estrogen or the testosterone?
No, so she gets pregnant. You could make the baby a male or a female by doing certain things.
Is it positioning?
I thought those were
there's some truth in it for males with heat and compression pants. There was just a recent study on it.
Yeah. Well, don't make it too hot because that was actually a thing they did in Japan, I think.
With their balls.
They put their balls in hot water before they had sex, so all the sperm would die and they wouldn't get pregnant.
That's kind of smart. I don't know if I want to dip my balls in boiling water, but
that's kind of painful.
So if you don't do that long enough, you get pancake baby over there,
well,
like half melted.
That's too much compression pants. You know what that is? That's a fucking garter belt. You wore a garter belt while you were pregnant, and that's the result. You were too worried about your figure, and you came out with a baby that looks like an hourglass.
Well, let's just say you're not gonna find a hat that fits the baby.
No, you're gonna have to knit that, bro.
Put a foam insert in it.
Oh God, bro!
Bandana.
Jesus,
a big bandana.
I gotta call Brandon. Great show, guys. Good show. Philosophical. Loved it. Bree, you did the best you've ever done on the show. That attitude, that snippiness. Have you changed? Gender, sex, same thing?
Yep.